Sirius XM Patriot Channel 125. Oh, yeah, you know. It's going to be one of them days, guys. You know. It's time for Sonnie's Corner. Hello, all of you beautiful, 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 beautiful people. You could have chose to be anywhere in the world right now, but you are here with us, and from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Sonnie's Corner. All right, top of the second hour, we're going to have the one and only Giovanni Bristow come through. We're going to have some fire conversation around 2024, the idea of wokeness, what's happening at Silicon Valley Bank. All of that is going to be on the menu coming up top of the second hour. Make sure you tune in for that. Now, I want to jump right into our lesson of today, right? So, we're going to ask, or try to identify, let me put it that way, the difference between philosophical conversation and ideological conversations, and how to spot conservatism within these dynamics, right? Big time show, so let's get ready to rock, right? Now, ever since 2015, I've been giving the same basic advice, right? Eventually, they're going to call for a revolution. When they call for a revolution, will you be able to answer them with a renaissance? I've been told over and over again that this is not a practical answer. It is merely philosophical. Okay, on the ideological side, I've said conservatism equally applied. If the answer for yourself is limited government, then the answer for Black America should also be what? Limited government. If you think that what happened to Matthew Perner, who was the protester who was locked up and put into solitary after the January 6th, if you think that that was bad, that he got out and killed himself because of the system he went through, then you should think it's equally as bad for Khalif Browder, who was locked up in solitary confinement, got the charges dropped, got out and killed himself. If you're looking at these two situations, you should see no difference. If one is bad, then both should be bad. Now, oh, Sonnie, you're back to being philosophical again. No, it was ideological. See, it's a matter of equity. Now your brain explodes. Why does your brain explode? Because I used leftist lingo in my argument. It must mean I am a Democrat. It must. There could be no other answer. Let me remind you about exactly what you are arguing. Since the natural trajectory of this conversation heads straight towards the gutter, I said, if what happened to Matthew Perner is a crime, what happened to Khalif Browder should also be a crime. In both cases, there is the same enemy. Progressive control, police, and justice systems, the same enemy. Your enemy, progressivism, stands right before your eyes. Your pathway to voluntary association through conservatism equally applied stands right before your eyes. Destruction of the bastardization of words, in this case equity, stands right before your eyes. But no, that's not good for you. That's not what you want. I can lay all of these gems right at your feet. But you want to get your panties in a bunch over what? Exactly. Am I asking a philosophical question or ideological question? Who are we kidding? At this point, you know, I'm basically asking a rhetorical question. But this is where I want your mind to be today. This is where I want your focus to manifest itself. I know. Sonnie, this is the weirdest conservative talk show on talk radio, period. I get it. I got it. But humor me just for a moment. See, I'm not inside your little bubble. I don't want to be inside your little bubble. So for the purpose of the conversations we have, I must pull you outside of your bubble. It only feels weird because the grass over here is a little bit greener. It only feels weird because you're stepping out. No more talking points to rely on. No more stereotypes to fall back on. We are going to exercise your little thinker until your thinker is sore. Now, here's the exercise. I'm going to give you a cultural reference. The cultural reference point is a philosophical argument. Okay? Now, I want you to fight your deepest, most intrinsic reaction. And I want you to instead focus on the ideological. Just look for the conservatism. Nothing else. You want to try it? It's gonna be fun. Oh wait, you didn't even understand what I said, right? Okay, put it this way. Forget that it's hip hop, forget that it's Jay-Z, and tell me if you can spot the conservatism. Let's play this clip.
Don't let nobody take advantage of me. And I love my I mean like a cool way, not like a racial way. Tonight, hey, if I had one advice for y'all tonight, don't ever go with the flow, be the flow. I don't know why everybody acting like this is new. They ain't give me a record contract. I made my own record company. All due respect, Hot 97 was the first radio station in town. They had a monopoly. I was the first one on Power 106, first. Shout out to Hot 97 and all their support. The Source was the #1 magazine. Had a stranglehold. I know Elliot in somewhere. I was the first one on the cover of XXL. Everybody knows that. I'm never gonna go with the flow. Never gonna let nobody take over our music. I see shit that you may not see. Some people get it. Everybody here gets it today. The people outside will get it tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This title thing is all about the music. We're gonna preserve the music. We ain't gonna let nobody take our music. We ain't gonna let nobody off our music up. Do what the fuck they wanna do. Don't ever go with the flow, be the flow. I don't need no middleman to talk. I understand if you don't understand, I figure I'm Jigger. That's where we differ. I take what's mine, you accept what they give you, I get you. I don't take no checks, I take my respect. Pharrell even told me go with the safest bet. Jimmy Iovine offered a safety net. Google dangle around a crazy check. I feel like YouTube is the biggest culprit. They pay you a tip for what you're supposed to get. You know down for equal pay, right? You know when I work, I ain't your slave, right? You know I ain't shucking and jiving and high-fiving. You know this ain't back in the days, right? But I can't tell how the way they killed Freddie Gray, right? Shot down Mike Brown, how they did Trey, right? Let them continue choking. We gonna turn style. I ain't your token. You know I came in this game independent, right? Title, my own name, same difference. Oh, Capitalism is their own shit. You bought 9 iPhones and Steve Jobs is rich. Phil Knight's worth trillions. You still bought those kicks. Spotify's 9 billion, they ain't say shit. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. The only one they hating on look the same as you. That's cool, I know they trying to bamboozle you. Spending millions on me, they trying to confuse you. I had to talk to myself, hope you used to. It's politics as usual.
Shout out to Jay-Z, shout out to Hov, right? So that is your cultural reference point. Now, the petty in me, Miss Petty has to come out for a second. I got the certain word cut out there because I know you would fail this test if I left that word in, right? It would just be too much temptation for you if I left the word in. So I got it cut out. But I think that you should look at that as an insult to your intelligence, that you can't take, fully quoted words and digest them without getting your panties in a bunch. And you should take that direct criticism from me and find it insulting enough to work on that problem, in your own time. But you might want to just go ahead and work on it. What I'm trying to do here is to get you to see, if you learn this, if you actually learn this, then you can teach this to your white conservative cousins. You continuously say, I am not giving you advice on what to do or how to move or what kind of conversations because you think you're supposed to be having them with black people. No, you're supposed to be having them with your white conservative cousins. I'm giving you the answer. The question is whether or not you'll accept the advice that I'm giving you. That is what we shall see. Now, first of all, Miss Petty Sonnie then came through. She spotted her little words. So we're gonna let her rest. So here's the question we want to put out into the ether. Using the reference point that I provided, not your talking points, not your stereotypes, using the reference point that I provided, would crime go down if poverty wasn't an issue? You don't get to, using the reference that I gave you, would crime go down if poverty was not an issue? Now, I know you wish that you could pause the show, you could go back and listen to the audio, maybe see if you could pick out a few things so you can answer my question specifically. Understand, if that's what you're thinking right now, I love you. You are on track, you're perfect, you're good, right? Because that's where you should. You're in an uncomfortable conversation. You don't know the metrics of this. You don't understand any of this. Simply saying that is okay. It's preferable. It should be your reaction. You are in a conversation that you do not understand. Therefore, you need more information to be able to make a informed decision. What is wrong with that? There is not a single thing that is wrong with that. So using this as a reference guide, would crime go down if poverty was not an issue? Okay. White conservatives, everybody else will yell. White conservatives, I want y'all to stop. Stop thinking. Because this is where your talking points come up and your stereotypes, they pop back up, right? Because you don't have an answer. You do have an answer. You don't know. That's your answer. You don't have to tangle your mind up or go any further. You can just simply admit that. And it would save so many arguments and so many trips of us circling around in the same conversations. Right? I purposely asked a vague question. And then I gave you a vague reference point. You're supposed to have questions. I set you up to get you here. Which is another reason why I think standardized tests sucks. They suck. But I digress. There is nothing wrong with being at this point in the conversation. What's wrong is also always what y'all do next. Instead of simply asking a question. So, what I want to do is I want to give you more context. Let you have a better answer. So you can decide when you listen to that sound again, are you seeing the conservatism? There's a consistent narrative that comes from the left. If people had their basic needs met, then there would be less violence. This is their rallying cry towards Marxism. Everyone deserves food, housing, education, medical, and of course it keeps changing as all of those needs get met, right? This was the thought process behind the housing projects. This was the thought process behind the ghettos. They could give us poor Black people our basic needs and we would be happy. Housing, government housing, projects, food stamps, public schools, Medicaid, right? If we got these things, our basic needs, then we would be living happy in our ghettos. So here's the question that should add more context for you. What basic needs are not met in the ghetto? The ghetto is financed by the safety net, right? They got all these programs thrown into the safety net. So exactly what need is not met in the ghetto? See, I would argue that the standard of basic need is what has caused the violence that you see in Black America. It also explains the tension that you see between Black men and the Democratic Party. It can be boiled down to a single line in the reference point from Jay-Z. I take what's mine, you accept what they give you, I get you. For decades, the Democratic Party has been telling Black America to simply accept what they have been given. Black Democrats demand every single election cycle that Black people vote like their lives depended on it just to keep what the government has given them. Black men are saying, I am going to take what is mine. I am going to play with capitalism because what we have been given is bullshit. Now, when Black men make this declaration, they become the enemy to Democrats, especially Black Democrats, and especially Black Marxist Democrats. Black men are saying that the answer to our problems is Black capitalism. Black Marxists must defeat this thinking. So the biggest obstacle between Black Marxism taking over the Black community is the success of Black men utilizing capitalism. So when you listen to the reference point that I played, you're triggered to hear like the slave talk, right? You're triggered to hear, I'm not shucking and jiving. Oh, that you're back to slavery. It's back to you're triggered to think that way. You get offended. He specifically talked about Jimmy Iovine, Google, YouTube. These are our organizations that hate you. So why are you offended? These are leftist organizations being called out by a Black capitalist. Why are you in the middle of it? To even judge, to put yourself there. Nobody puts you there but you. They can't mention Freddie Gray, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin. Again, your pennies in the bunch. Because that's some Black people problems you're not interested in talking about. Well, at least say that. Instead of getting offended, at least say that. That's some Black people stuff that I don't even want to talk about. Apple, Nike, Spotify, all capitalists and the left doesn't complain about them. The left doesn't see them as a threat. The left is fine taking their money, taking their influence. But when a Black man utilizes capitalism, it becomes a problem. The basic needs of Marxism will never satisfy Black America. We will always push to build, to create, to grow, to flourish. As long as we have local communities that criminalize through legislation, regulation, and taxation, they criminalize the idea of capitalism. we will resist and we will continue to attempt to destroy that system. And I want to give you a reminder. This violence that you see in the Black community, it didn't start until progressivism took over our community. When that ideology took hold, death, poverty, and destruction came with it. If conservatism is offered and capitalism is supported, the communities will change for the better on their own accord. We will be who we've always been. If progressivism, if that ideology keeps hold, then the violence that we see now will continue. And no basic need is going to stop that, because the basic need that's not being met is real, actual liberty. And that's what Black Americans are fighting for. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back in a moment.